Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Wayne here and welcome to another video. And, basically let's just get it out of the way, the elephant in the room. Assassin's Creed multiplayer is not going to be in Assassin's Creed Unity. Multiplayer in the traditional sense, meaning the multiplayer format, the competitive format that we've had from Assassin's Creed 4, 3, Revelations and Brotherhood is not going to be in Unity. Yeah, I'm slightly disappointed. Well, I was. Of course I was. I think everyone who enjoys the multiplayer was. But I'm not going to sit here at all and gripe and moan and groan and all the rest of it. I'm not going to stress and go, oh, the multiplayer's got a player base and all this, that, and the other, you can't do this and all the rest of it. Like, no, look, they can. In the end, business is business. But I don't think they got rid of the multiplayer lightly, but I'm going to go on that a little bit further later on. You see, yes, the multiplayer as we know it is gone, but multiplayer is still there. Why? Because Assassin's Creed Unity does have multiplayer. It is multiplayer. It's integrated into the multiplayer. The whole point, one of the main features of Assassin's Creed Unity is single player meets online. The idea of obviously the cooperative mode, the idea that you could be running around in your little single player game and your friends can drop in and drop out at any time. But yeah, you know, it is still a multiplayer. It's Wolfpack in a single player environment. It's Manhunt in a single player environment. A 4-man team working together, except this time you're not fighting another team of players. You're fighting the fucking game. You know, in a more traditional sense from a single player experience, and I think that's great, you know. So yeah, multiplayer is there, but the traditional competitive multiplayer isn't, and that's fine. You know, that is perfectly fine. I don't think Ubisoft would drop the multiplayer lightly. I mean, even now, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood has still got a player base. Each of the games before it have got a player base, and you know, it's obvious by the sales and the data that they collect that the multiplayer is a solid component of the Assassin's Creed experience. And I just don't think it's like they're just gonna waltz in one day and go, right, you know what, the multiplayer was sacking it for the next game. Fuck it, it's gone, it doesn't work, no one likes it, no one plays it. You know, it's not like that at all. I honestly don't think, and basically that they've decided to drop it for a more streamlined experience of single player and online as an experiment. You know, they're trying something new, they're trying something fresh, and that's what we want from something like Assassin's Creed, which is going to be, you know, released every year. You want ways to innovate and try something new, and this is something new, and it's good. However, I can go one step further on trying something new. Assassin's Creed Comet. We've heard so many rumours about this bloody game that, like, you're going to be playing as a Templar, Hatham is involved, you're going to be in New York, and it ties in Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4 together. It's going to be on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and all this stuff, and we still are none the wiser. If it was a single-player game for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, ideally it would have been announced alongside Unity at E3. That's the best thing to do. It's a lot better than announcing it at something like Gamescom in a few months' time, and then kicking it out the door a few months after that if they want to release it alongside Unity in October, at the end of October. So here's my theory. Now, I posted this on Twitter, it's made a lot of noise, people liked it. I sincerely doubt I'm the first person to think of this. I might be one of the first to actually say it out loud, but I digress. What if? This is a major what if scenario, and you know what, if this would happen, it would be quite a gamble on Ubisoft's part, but I think it could be bloody awesome if it's done right, okay? This is a major what if. What if Assassin's Creed Comet is the multiplayer? What if Assassin's Creed Comet wasn't a game about a Templar and all that stuff that I've just said previously, and what if it was a standalone multiplayer? Think about it for a second. It's a fantastic idea, I think. Even now, Ubisoft have been playing around with the idea of taking the multiplayer elements of popular franchises and releasing them separately. Ghost Recon Future Soldier had its own multiplayer, its own competitive multiplayer. Not long alongside that, you had Ghost Recon Online, which was the PC variant of a competitive multiplayer for the franchise. And now you have Ghost Recon Phantoms. Ghost Recon Online and Ghost Recon Phantoms are competitive online experiences away from the single player game, away from the single player part of the franchise. They can do what they want with them. They can constantly update them, constantly change them, constantly add content, and so on. Now, what if they did that with Assassin's Creed multiplayer? What if they reached in and grabbed the multiplayer, ripped it away from the single player experience, worked on it on its own, unrestrained, and released it out into the wild as its own beast? It would be beautiful. For ages, Ubisoft have been working on this branding of Abstergo Entertainment. Welcome to Abstergo Entertainment. What if that was fleshed out and it was sold separately? You can do so much with it and play around with so much. Not only could you have a single player experience which came out on its own, the idea of right, you have this game, you have these maps, you have these modes, you have these characters, but then you can reach into the back catalogue of previous Assassin's Creeds and bring a load of that content forward, redesign some of the popular characters from earlier games, redesign some of the maps and bring them forward bigger and better than ever before. Imagine playing a game that the equivalent of Assassin's Creed 4 with the Prowler on a Revelations map set in Constantinople. It would be beautiful. And, and it's a fantastic idea. And this game would have a 2-year life cycle. You don't have to worry about cramming it in with a yearly release of Assassin's Creed single player. Throughout the lifetime of 2 years, the 2-year lifespan, maybe even more, maybe 3 years if it's done right, with every new single player experience that comes out, you can take elements of that single player game and bring it into the multiplayer. New characters and new modes and new maps and so on. You can play around so much. It becomes the ultimate multiplayer experience with a core database of previous Assassin's Creeds, and then future Assassin's Creed content can be brought in as the series progresses. And it's all in one place, one game, no mucking about. If you want Assassin's Creed for the single player experience, go and buy it for the single player experience. If you want it for both, you can buy the single player and then get the multiplayer at a discount. Or if you're just there for the multiplayer, knock yourself out. There it is, untouched. You don't even have to consider buying the single player. But personally, if you were just buying Assassin's Creed for the multiplayer, you need a slap because the single player is so fucking good anyway. But I digress. The idea of a core-built multiplayer away from the single-player games, unrestrained, is beautiful, while at the same time it can fix so many of the issues that have been plaguing Assassin's Creed multiplayer for so long. Over the 2 to 3 year life cycle, you can have a fully functioning support team there to fix all the problems. It could be a self-contained team of developers working on this core experience which can last 2 to 3 years, and none of the developers and none of the fan base have to worry about the teams rushing off to a brand new multiplayer in the next game and then leaving the previous multiplayers out to dry because there's no staff to support them. Everyone's there under one roof and one Assassin's Creed multiplayer banner, and that is beautiful. Oh, it's an Assassin's Creed multiplayer gamer's wet dream. It really is. I guarantee the majority of the people that are watching this right now will be going, yeah, agreeing with me, cheering, going, yes, please do it, Ubisoft. I think it's better for everyone all round, developers and gamers. Guys, that is what I think Assassin's Creed multiplayer should be. It should be its own unrestrained standalone beast that can thrive on its own for multiple years and just yeah. Guys, I'm done. Take care, be safe, and I will see you in the next one. Everyone unite. Wayne out. Peace.